Ah. Hello.
Hello, Ettore. Not sure if anybody else is joining today. Mauro, Nitsaka are on vacation.
I
I'm
cannot
not
hear
sure
you.
if
Wait, maybe it's me.
you cannot.
Oh,
No, Zoom can hear me. Test, test, test.
probably me.
Maybe the wrong device because I can hear some wind blowing, so probably not the headset.
No, no, me. Okay, now I
Yeah.
can.
All right. Yeah. I was saying I don't think anybody else is joining. Maybe William will join. Mauro and Ichaka are both on vacation, so let's see. Let's give him a minute. In the meantime, I can share my screen. Sharing the screen. Oh, a new dialog. What is that? Yep, you can hear it. You can see it, sorry. All right. So it's going to be a limited capacity week, let's say. Maurice came back on Thursday, I think, but yeah, until he catches up with everything, we shouldn't expect too much to happen. Chaka is gone. William, I'm not sure. So let's see what we did and what else we can, how much we can achieve this week. So, oh, by the way, on a high level, we're still working on 4.2.0 items for Kairos. And actually, let's see where we stand with that in the roadmap. The way to the right, 4.2. What do we see here? Okay, let me move things. And that one is done. Oops. And mass is done. All right, looking good. So, the copy epic, that's what William has been working on, but he's not around to give us the update. This one should probably be closed. I think I kept it around to document it. Yes, missing docs. I'll try to do that today. And I think this is on the planning board somewhere. Let me move it higher. Or is it in progress? Mass. Where are you? There it is. Okay, it is in progress. Okay, it has my face on it. Support for confidential containers. That's a little bit stuck on. Ah, wait, no, Hedron. That's not stuck on anything. That was waiting for us to put the docs, and that's here for a while. Nobody reviewed yet, or yes, I need someone to give me a thumbs up. Probably because I never put. Where is it? Ah, we don't have docs for it. Okay, I think this needs to go to this print. It's been done for a while now. So let me try to find it. Document there. Okay, I'm gonna move it there. So we complete it. All right, and that should close this ticket. NVIDIA, no state reset in grab menu. I thought we fixed that.
Oh, there is a
And
no, it was
no,
fixed, but
Jasper
I
said
don't know
it's fixed.
I don't know if
I
it
can
landed yet.
confirm.
Ah,
The state reset is now in
okay,
the boot menu. And no.
okay, we can close it then.
I'm just not sure if there was anything else promised here. Okay. Why does it say one works? What is one? There's a reference to one. One. I don't see any numbering. This expected fix. The stage is now in the boot menu. One here. Confirmation. All right. Two. Or confirmation on a patched existing device. Okay. Do we care about the patched existing device? If it's working on a freshly flashed one, that's all good, right?
Yeah.
I'm closing. Gone. One less thing to do. Awesome. CRDs to serve netbook. Okay. This was a story about somehow describing to the operator that we want to netboot machines, and the operator would spin up a netboot server and things like that. Then I gave it some thought, came up with some options. I don't like any of these because generally speaking, in your network there should be only because of how netbooting works. It's like a broadcast thing. Machines come up and say, "Hey, what is there to boot?" And something replies, "Okay, boot this." Right? It's like just one machine replying. There shouldn't be no other. And doesn't play
Yeah.
very nice with the concepts of Kubernetes, because in Kubernetes you can scale things up and down. You have various networks. You have the Kubernetes network itself, but you have also the host network, things like that. So from within a pod, you get two options. So generally speaking, we had some options, but it looks a lot better UX wise to use the new API AuroraBoot exposes if you are to boot multiple machines with a phone home feature. Of course, it's not using the same underlying technology, but on the high level, it's achieving the same thing. You're booting multiple machines in batches, installing whatever Kairos you want. So you are booting from network in a way, but not. So what kind of technology you use is the technical detail in my eyes, at least. So instead of implementing one of the options I didn't like, I said, okay, how about we make it a little bit simpler to deploy AuroraBoot, just to show to people how they can do it, and then reevaluate if we need to do the actual net booting. And for that, I just created a Helm chart for AuroraBoot that somehow uh, comes out with the default of an operator backend. Remember last week we delivered the option, or the week before, I don't remember, but we added the option to use the operator to build artifacts for the web UI of AuroraBoot, not the same process. So there are two backends now. And now the Helm chart makes that the default. So it assumes, since AuroraBoot runs in a cluster, it assumes there is an operator and it's using that. So it all integrates nicely together now. Which means maybe we can, I don't know, come up with a video so to people end to end how they can use it to provision multiple machines and you know, do it in a batch and easy way, and then we evaluate. I don't know how you feel, Ettore, about this feature. For me, I would rather skip it altogether. I haven't heard of anybody really asking for a feature to netboot in the traditional sense using the operator. So
No, the story behind this was like for the background of this story. It's about the infrastructure provider for CAPI. So the idea was like, okay,
mm,
if we have a Kairos infrastructure provider,
mm,
then we should be able to programmatically issue like from a Sentinel node, call it like this, like a Raspberry Pi. Imagine a Raspberry Pi you have in the where you would like to deploy a cluster, right? Or
mhm,
actually a cluster, or also a set of cluster, or whatever topology you want to have. And then you have this Sentinel node, which have the operator. It's a real Kubernetes
mm,
cluster, can be managed and whatever. Then from there, you could have a workload that becomes your netbooting server for other nodes, right? So, and what it means that then you can do installation, but then if you have to do resets, you can still bring up again the netbooting automatically and programmatically. So that was the general idea. So now this issue is old because it was connected to the CAPI story and the infrastructure provider at the beginning. But yeah, these
when, mm.
have to be really, connected to the CAPI story, right? I mean, the CAPI might need that,
Which, by
but
the way, so reality check, William chose to use the phone home feature, I think, in
exactly,
Capi
exactly,
already.
exactly. That's why, it changes
It's
the
it
shape.
kind of proves it's better, right? As an option.
Yeah, I agree.
Let
I agree. We can close it in favor of delegating everything to AuroraBoot.
started um, this, no, how to say that? This ticket was originally intended to support the Capi story. Um,
Yeah, about the CAPI story in registering new
as I
nodes
know,
programmatically.
yeah, you already started using the phone home feature of Aurora Boot of that, which kind of proves that this flow is more useful than it booting in the traditional sense, let's say. I suggest we close this and rethink about it if we need it. I think about it in the future if for some reason needed. Should I wait or should I close?
I would close it. I would close it because so this is basically superseded even by the button Aurora Boot
Yeah.
opens in the UI, and now if you want to do programmatically, you can start Aurora
Yeah.
Boot. It can be even a
Yeah.
job, a Kubernetes job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Yeah. The
does what.
problem is, I mean, you can definitely do it, but to be sure that you didn't create a mess of it, you have to somehow check if there is already a netboot server, right? So
Yeah,
okay, you
yeah,
have to somehow control and gate it and make sure you only have one running there. And by the way, one means you are only serving one artifact. But AuroraBoot
yeah.
is building multiple of them. So as soon as the next one is done, so it's like one slot, like one server sits there and serves only one artifact, but now AuroraBoot can do multiple in parallel. It's a little bit weird because Phone Home
Yeah.
doesn't have that problem. It can boot whatever, right? All right, I closed it. Let's see if there are objections. We can discuss it again. Uniform NVIDIA image building inside AuroraBoot. That also, I think, was done.
Yeah, I think it's done.
Tested AGX emits. I opened docs to replace, which is merged, by the way. Okay, I'm just closing it.
Yeah, the issue
We
you
need to
can
clean
close
up.
once you.
The custom scripts. It doesn't comment on the custom scripts. Okay, I'll pull it in just to check if the custom scripts are gone. Let's pull it in this spring. Oh, come on. I can't write. To check if the custom scripts are gone, and then we can close it. Okay, commenting and pulling. It's in QA. Okay, it has to be in progress or somewhere we can pull it. Put it there. Almost done, or probably done. That's the copy story again. SALS architecture and security implications for trusted boot builds. Are we making any progress? No.
No, and this is also blocked by the hardware. I mean, we can't really do. I mean, we can spike definitely, but Salsa is blocked also on the hardware story.
So it also includes testing confidential containers.
Yeah, no.
That
The point is
hardware
like,
story, you mean?
yeah, I mean, the Salsa builds we are going to have. I mean, the builds of the artifacts are gonna be into Coco hardware, right? Then
That's what you mean.
I
So
mean,
we have to build it
yeah,
there. So yeah, okay,
yeah.
it's kind of blocked.
I mean, we can spike on it. Definitely start to do a blueprint. You know what we will do. This we can do, right? But
Yeah.
hardware side we are a bit blocked.
Yeah, okay, but even that discussion, because remember we wanted to do that in person, decide how we maintain, how we keep the keys safe, where we do that. Maybe the rest of the team should be around. So I would postpone it at least this week, maybe until Mauro is back, William is back. I'm not sure if Chaka comes back later, but anyway, yeah, not for this week. Coco and NVIDIA GPU support. That's even worse than the simple Coco story. I don't think the providers we talked to, anyone had NVIDIA boards. Maybe one of them, but we didn't choose that one because it was very expensive. So if we want to use this new machine we're trying to book for building stuff, it has to be something cheap enough to keep it around for a long time. NVIDIA is only going to be an one-off. We test and we shut it down. We can't afford, paying for NVIDIA and so I'm not even sure if that can be delivered on 4.2 because it's mainly blocked on getting hardware, right?
Yeah, we have to evaluate all of this also because otherwise we keep the 4.2.
Yeah, we can't pull stories from the next one because we are waiting for these, and these are mostly waiting stories.
Yeah, and we can't. We are also blocked. Okay, let's move on this now.
Maybe we should start the process of getting it, but this is a completely different request because it's a very temporary machine. So I would do it like that. First, let's do Coco on bare metal, know that it works, so we save time. We don't have to debug on an NVIDIA-enabled machine that costs a lot, right? And then when we have that ready, we just try to get a machine that also has an NVIDIA and try to, as quickly as possible, validate that and then, release it and stop paying for it. But that's a lot of waiting.
Okay, I will move on for now. This one until we have a little bit. At least we need to see hardware availability. Otherwise, it's
yeah. All right. So the next one, templating for config URL. I picked this up last week. I already have 3 pull requests. SDK, Imicor, and agent, I think. And it was late in the week, I think Friday, and these are draft because I have to check if they actually work, test it, and things like that. But yeah, it's in progress. Like maybe let's say 50% there. Coco from the Hadron host level. That's what we've been discussing about. We're waiting for processes to complete for us to get our hands on a bare metal machine. There is nothing we can do at this point. Mostly waiting. NVIDIA Jetson QSPI version mismatch. There was a spike we were supposed to start, and actually I think we put it here, but nobody picked it up.
No, I started to have a look at that, but there is an even bigger problem. I think it's so. I was trying a few things, and then I noticed that the HDMI is not even working on the door. So that requires a little bit of. I tried a few things and I still don't have luck. I think the QSPI upgrade process should work on the PR I have, but I cannot see it. So that's the problem. I have to fix first. So,
All right, but it's in progress. Maybe I'll just move it to in progress.
yeah, it's not anymore a spike. It's really now.
Your face and
I know what should happen more or less, but there are more problems. One is the fact, I mean, you have to test manually, which is annoying, but it's not the problem of that. The problem is the flow that NVIDIA is using. It's a bit different from ours. So they basically do grab KXEC on the first boot. They basically do an unattended install, and so they skip the problem at all. Because QSPI can also impact HDMI.
Why don't we do the same?
No.
No, why don't we?
Yeah, because it requires a different booting process entirely for doing installation. So, and now I'm trying to see how much we can go closer
Since
to them.
Itzhaka is not around, because for example, for mass, for the canonical thingy, I introduced a new partition because that's the only way we could make it work, or the simpler way to make it work. Itzhaka didn't like it at all, but he had to admit it was the only choice we had. So maybe you can introduce a new booting flow while Itzhaka is gone. Fix it quickly.
So he approved the PR, so he is already okay with the PR. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but for this board, jokes aside, it's not like a global truth in that. It's just the way this board works. And maybe we shouldn't make it a global official feature of Kairos because there's no other board that's going to need that. Probably the next one is going to have a separate flow. So maybe even booting, I don't know, just boot Ubuntu or whatever NVIDIA gives you to upgrade, right?
I agree. Indeed, what I'm trying to do now is really adding like bootsteps or services via Cloud Init, so it's very specialized to the board. So it's not really any generic thing. And that's why I'm saying they have a very different boot process. I'm trying to, map it as close as possible to ours. But I mean, it's confusing also as well, because basically the problem is you can have a different firmware version, and if you don't have it matching, basically you see black screen when you boot. So it means that when you run the installer have to also trigger the upgrade of the firmware. If it doesn't, and when you do it, it's the problem, because if you do it immediately, you can't do it immediately. You have to boot, and you boot into black screen. This is the problem. It's really, yeah, it's not really nice. But yeah.
Okay. Sounds very interesting. So good luck.
Yeah, all NVIDIA stuff is like that.
Yeah. And the last one there seems to have a pull request also. 2 weeks ago, exporting without a version support. We saw multiple fixes for that. Wait, let me see. This is merged, this is closed. Then your bot picked it up to do what? Didn't do anything.
Follow this up in. Oh wait, click on the link. Give a link.
It's merged.
It is merged.
You approved it. No,
What is
merged.
this one? Okay, yes. It was a simple one. Yeah, it's just semantics.
Config.
You can say case none.
Yeah. Yeah. which means this is done.
Yes. This is done.
Nyanu didn't say, but I say, Nyanu, this appears done. Please reopen if you face any issues. Done. Close the comment. And then done. And then with that, it seems we are almost done of things we can actually do. This is a very small one to document. This is waiting for this is also documentation. Not very much of it. It's just describing the options in the firmware you have to enable and things like that. This was done. Wait, why did I leave it there? I thought we said it's done. The custom script. Yeah, the custom script. So very little work here. Config URL is in progress. Mostly QA it needs. This is waiting for hardware, and this is what you're fighting with. And yeah, that's all we have until 4.2. So most of it is going to be done by the end of the week, hopefully. And then we're blocked on hardware and NVIDIA. So we can discuss next Monday whether we wait or we just cut the release and move the rest of the work to the next one, the blocked stuff. So very nice progress. I'm closing the roadmap now, going to the planning board. Let me quickly clean up because we have only half an hour. Let me quickly clean up the done stories. In memory boot, we used to have that. We re-implemented it. There is a new boot menu. You can pass in, I think, in AuroraBoot some options to enable that. It shows under advanced, which means you can actually boot Kairos on either a fresh disk or on a disk with just two partitions, the persistent and the, what's the other one? What would the other one be? Anyway, and keep the rest on the live CD. So it's like a live CD with persistence for whoever needs that. This is done. I think it also has docs. Verifying GIDs for users, specifying, sorry. Yeah, we had to fix that. You can actually put it in your config now and specify which group ID the user should have. It also handles gracefully the cases where your group ID already exists or some other edge cases, which I don't remember right now. Check it out. It's done. Yeah, that's the pull request in YIP. That's the thing we just discussed about not formatting a file system, leaving it unformatted if you pass in the right option. Mass support, we said it's done. Just needs the docs. Wait, the docs. Why is this in done? There was this is another ticket. That's why. Okay. Curtain hooks is part of mass support. Operators and AuroraBoot. Didn't we clean up last week? I think these are from the previous. Maybe not. Maybe we closed on Monday. Okay, the operator is now an AuroraBoot backend, already used in the Helm chat, by the way. The state reset is fixed on NVIDIA's. All things closed now. I don't remember how I closed this. I think it was me. Maybe it wasn't. No. Yes. Yes, the exclude path. It was supported in the Kairos agent when you upgrade. So you could skip etc host name, for example, and things that are tainted by Kubernetes. Because when you spin up a pod, the pod gets how's it called? Oh my god. A couple of files. The resolve conf and I think the host name. It gets it from the Kubernetes, from kubelet, so it's not what Kairos had in it. and then when you upgrade with that, it replaces the host's files. So with this new flag here, you can skip it, and actually now the operator does that by default. If you still want to do that for some reason, it's explained in the docs. You can still do it by manually implementing a node op instead of a node op upgrade and put your own script in there. By default, it's going to skip those files, and you can skip more if you want. That's what this is about. Tests in the Kairos agent, just improving our testing coverage. I don't know, this is very high level. Yeah, it's AuroraBoot. It's a very old ticket describing kind of what we have today, AuroraBoot. So I just closed it. This is also a very old one, which I closed because it doesn't look relevant. Yeah, no, the bot closed it. No, you closed it. But anyway, old tickets, very old ones. This one as well is old. We just closed standard 100 builds uses. I remember that. That's a CI fix. Core QA tag per artifact image. Course, yeah, the cache file. I think they're using the same one, so they could replace each other. Anyway, bug fixing CI. This one we discussed is the one we closed. Is not going to do. There was a problem when you put lots of files in your ISO. The calculation was wrong. The calculation of the partitions, it wouldn't fit. We fixed that. It's a bug fix. A very old, long-standing bug in Kcrypt challenges server. You couldn't put a forward slash. That's fixed in the URL. I mean, this is fixing it. The backend, the operator backend for AuroraBoot, we discussed. That's the same. The exclude paths we discussed in the CRDs. That's the same. That's the docs for it. Passing in architecture in Docker builds. That's a fix in AuroraBoot. So the architecture wasn't respected all the way down, and it affected. What did that affect? Clarification Docker builds when a target architecture is selected. Must have a. This is a pull request, and this is merged. Okay. Probably didn't notice because we keep building the same architecture. But with AuroraBoot being used in CI, I wonder if that produced the wrong artifacts in the releases. What is Docker builds? The builder. The local builds of the web UI, that is. Wasn't respecting the architecture, okay. And we never noticed because we keep testing on AMD64. All right, that's good. Bumping depths, fixing a little bug by retrying something that failed, network pooling. Make recovery image size configurable. That's a bug fix, I think. Share image verify instead of pushing to QA. Yes, that's a problem we had with pull requests in AuroraBoot from forks. They needed credentials just to pull the intermediate image between jobs and push it to QA, which makes no sense. We don't need it there. We just use it, just to exchange between steps. So we did it with artifacts instead. We produce an artifact, a GitHub artifact, and then the next job pulls it from GitHub and all done. No QA credentials needed. So pull requests in AuroraBoot now should get properly tested with no problems. Depth bumping. That one I don't remember. Is it? It's a pull request. Silently ignored. Okay, we introduced a bug then. So fixing a bug we introduced. Static runtime default. That's a preparation for running Kdrone on bare metal and running confidential containers on top of it. I remind you that it's the reason is Kdrone is muscle based and the binaries inside the kata containers pods or containers were all libc dynamically linked binaries. At least for AMD64, the default in the next release is going to be statically linked. We couldn't make it work for S390 and ARM, I think, because of some issues. You can check the pull request there, but yeah, the maintainers agreed that it's good if we just do it on AMD64, which is the actual thing we are interested here for. So that's merged. Doesn't have a release yet, but we don't have a machine yet, so no hurry there. This is adding a Helm chart in AuroraBoot. It's part of the releases. So whenever a new release is created in AuroraBoot, we're going to get a new version of the Helm chart. And there is going to be a follow-up pull request to bump the images in the Helm charts, I think, because you have to first produce them and then bump them. But anyway, there is going to be a Helm chart. It is documented in our official doc, so look it up. I tested it. It works with the operator very nicely. Of course, it needs some wiring, point one to the other. You need to set the AuroraBoot URL properly so that the exporters know how to upload the final artifact. That's the reason you need it. So there are two things that talk to AuroraBoot right now. So the operator needs to talk to AuroraBoot to send over to upload. I think one is to upload the artifacts. The other reason is for the phone home feature. The phone home needs a public URL because you can't possibly know where the VMs are being spawned up, right? So if someone spins up VMs on another network, you cannot use the Kubernetes network to talk to AuroraBoot. So for that, you need a publicly accessible URL, and the Helm chart creates an ingress for it optionally. And you need proper, TLS and whatever to spin it up. The other reason the operator talks to AuroraBoot is to upload the artifacts so you can download them from the web UI. But for that, it doesn't need any publicly accessible URL. It can use Kubernetes networking, and that's what it does actually. Keep that in mind while looking at the docs. But the only input to the Helm chart, the only mandatory input, let's say, is the URL of AuroraBoot, the public one. And that's, the pull request, the docs PR. Okay, if there are no questions, I'm archiving them. And Ettore, are you still there?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So things under review. Okay, big pile of things. Nobody picked this up again, but it's not urgent. I'm not gonna say it's under review because nobody's working on it. I'm gonna move it back. Nobody's reviewing and nobody's working on it. It needs work actually. We did review, but need someone to pick it up and work on it. So I'm moving it at least there. Yeah, just pick this up because your bot pinged us on an old ticket. We had a ticket to create an end-to-end test for some kcrypt CLI commands we introduced back then. It was very easy to do. I just pointed Claude to that and did it very quickly. And I have a somewhere here. There must be PR. This one. Okay, let's move it closer together. So this is the ticket.
One thing
This
that
is the
the
PR.
bot is doing nicely, it's nudging us on the old issues because it keeps us closing it. So it's really good. It's doing that.
No, I don't like being pushed in the morning with 50 emails about all tickets. But you are right. It works. I don't want to see it again, so I'm trying to close as much as I can. By the way, we dropped the ticket count below 300. It's been a while. Look at that, 291, and we keep closing.
Yes, yes.
So it's effective. um, this is Mauro's. Yeah, we discussed a bit renaming products, projects, making it more natural to the newcomers and not tribal knowledge of what its thing is. But yeah, let's discuss that when Mauro is back. Config URL not used at boot. I really think this is done and has a merge pull request there. This is waiting for nothing actually. Emucore agent. I think I saw Emucore, didn't I? No, I saw agent. That's me saying that, but I'm really both merge. Okay, both merge. Should I close it? I'm gonna close it. Yeah, both merge means close it. Then come on, archive gone. Yeah, it was a ticket to. So when you specify the config URL in the CMD line, it wasn't respected. And it's a nice feature because you can hard code your CMD line pointing to some URL, and then you can change the contents of the URL. So you can actually change the config of the machines remotely if that's what you want to do. Of course, you have to think about security and all, because you can. It's like a way to inject configs to the nodes. So you have to be very careful on who can change the remote URL and things like that. But anyway, where was I? GitOps install. I think that's waiting. That's waiting. Yeah, for Olivier to be back, I think, and pick it up because it had some comments from Copilot which are valid, and then a long comment from Michak, and then me for flags. Okay, wait for Olivier. Okay. Add Helm chat for Kairos operator. That's Olivier again. Agents MD. I think we already have that somewhere, or it's work in progress. But yeah, that's.
I don't remember if we have it.
We have the skills. Did we do the
We have the
agent one?
skills. Yeah.
Yeah, all of us had a little opinion here, so at least two of the people in this discussion are not around. I'd rather not close it.
Or we push our ideas and we wait.
Completely democratically, right? I mean, we're the only ones here to vote. That's how
can vote,
democracy
right?
works. Exactly. You know, they do. That's the reason why sometimes the elections are in summer. At least for Greece, summer means most people don't bother going to vote, right? So you can easily do whatever you want. Add Helm and customize installation methods in the operator. That's docs. That's Olivier's work, and that's the accompanying PR in docs. But we haven't merged the other one yet, so. Next one, DMI. Oh, sys vendor for robust QEMU guest detection. I remember seeing some pull request about this, which is not linked here. It's a follow-up of this pull request. Okay, so maybe that's the one I saw. I don't understand this ticket. It was completely started with your agent.
Yes, this was from a conversation we had in a PR. So it fixes something. We are this is a little bit like refactoring. Okay, it's very low hanging fruit.
Should I tell your bot to fix it?
Yes, yeah. To at least can propose something.
Let me try. Extra partition part label missing after install. Has a Chagas phase on it. Has some merged pull requests, but we can't. Okay, that's the thing Chaka was saying. He couldn't reproduce. We don't have any feedback for 2 weeks now. I really want to close this, and if it's still an issue, we can reopen. What do you think? Chaka has been trying to reproduce it for 2 weeks with no luck. We had another bug, I think, with the size. I know it was this one, which we fixed.
I would wait for Ichaka because he picked it up, and I mean,
Oh no, he already said last week that he couldn't reproduce. So 2 weeks back, he said he can reproduce. In the last sprint planning, he said he couldn't reproduce, and he's on vacation, so he will not reproduce. So it's gonna sit here until September or something. If you're fine with that, I'll just leave it. But there's nothing to do really.
Let's ping Nyanyu. Maybe he can. Let's say if he can help in giving us a reproducer, you know, like because otherwise
He gave enough already.
blind thing.
Do this. Okay, the only option we have, because Nyanyu did give steps, which is what Chaka followed and he couldn't reproduce. The other option is someone else tries to reproduce. If two people cannot reproduce, then it's something we should close. Should I just put it back to do? Let's do that. Let me also try to reproduce. If the steps are not good enough, then we close, right?
I think I need to reboot because my PC is really crashing now with the graphic. You know, I have some problems with the graphic drivers.
Okay.
I lost you for a bit also. I don't know what.
It could be me. It's not necessarily you.
Because now I see all black. So it can be me.
That's we don't have anybody else to compare, but what I can do before you reboot is I can try to join from Chromium, but it's gonna take a little bit. Give me a second.
Now I can see. No, now I can see. It came back. So maybe it was network.
Okay, let's give a second. We'll see in the recording if it was you. Bump Thor L40, whatever that is, trigger UEFI capsule update. That's the thing we discussed.
Yeah, that's the QSPI. But yeah, it's still heavy. No, it's not under review. It's in progress because it's there is more to it. I mean, it's gonna be also trying to fix HDMI. It was not, you know, in scope, but otherwise you can't see what is happening. You know, it's really.
Okay, I put your face on it. It's in progress. Default HVPN API to Unix socket. Didn't we merge that? I remember approving it. Yes, I approved. No, it's not failing. It's green. Should I just click on merge? Before I click merge, let me. That's in the provider. Okay, I'm going to rebase and merge. That doesn't require an immediate release. It's nice to have, right?
Yeah. It was always a thing that I wanted to do because.
Okay, I hope you're happy now.
Yes. Yeah. No, because it was like something bugging me, so it's a long time, but it's very low hanging fruit, so you know, and it was nice.
All right, and then kata container static by default. Why is it still there? I think it was merged. It was merged. This can be closed. Done. All right. That was the under review things. Mostly people not around and me waiting for a review on this little thing I created on Friday, or when did I? This morning actually. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And in progress now. You are doing the NVIDIA JSON thingy.
Funny stuff.
Yeah. Mauro is playing with Risk 5, and this one is probably done, but let's wait for Mauro. I need to deliver the documentation for mass. I need to finish off the config URL, which has 3 pull requests below that. These are all for the config URL, templating in agent Imicore and supported by the SDK. And then it's you again here. I'm going to move it closer. I think it's the same story, these two.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so it's actually 2 or 3 things we have to finish here, but yeah, all focused on the next release, by the way. So all good. Then we pulled in documenting what we already know. Hadron hostess. Wait, no. Why is it there? We said not hostess. We want to do the non-host. And this one we can't do. We're waiting for the hardware. It's blocked. Actually, so blocked that I will put it below the waterline. Can we pick this up immediately? No, it's waiting for. Whoa! How did I do that? All right. We're waiting for feedback. This can't be picked up. And the unit for NVIDIA image building inside AuroraBoot is also the custom script. This can be picked up. I'm moving at the top. Okay, the blocked ones below the waterline, we cannot promise them. This won't pick. Bumping with the AI. Okay, we created this today. We had Dependabot, we have RenovateBot. They are very noisy, creating pull requests all over the place. Not even working pull requests. Some of them are breaking CI, and these bots are not smart enough to fix it. So we were thinking that maybe we can leverage something like the bot you currently have, Ettore, and create proper pull requests. Of course, it knows how to prepare something and bump it. Those other tools have already a trigger, like what they scan and finding what can be bumped and things like that. So either we completely replace those bots, or we make the AI one pick up the PRs from the other bots and actually fix them and get them to a mergeable state. So the only thing we have to do is go there, check the research the bot did, and because the AI bot can say, I looked at the code, I checked the release notes, the change log, and it looks good. I fixed the test as well, so it can do a lot more. Because every morning we start with 100 emails from Dependabot and Renovate, and I tend to ignore them because otherwise I would spend half the day checking deps and PRs that don't work. So let me actually move it there. These are blocked. Salsa is blocked. This wasn't too interesting. Okay. Okay. To me, okay, this is not maybe enough for the week. But if we're done with these, we can decide to either cut the release with what we have, which means we're going to need some time to cut the release, CI breaking, making it green, last minute dependency bumping. So we need time for that as well. I would rather not push more things in the sprint then. Or if we decide to not continue and still stay blocked on the Coco story and such, means we have a way to work on it. So I would rather leave it like this, to be honest. Maybe midweek we decide to cut a release and we spend the rest of the time fixing the release.
Yeah. No, it makes sense also because we are mainly us. So.
All right, that's it then. I'm gonna stop sharing. Anything else from you, Ettore? I think I'm good.
No, all good.
All right. Okay. Thanks for joining. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.